Alright, this is the voiceover lap for MSR Cresson. This track is a little weird because the finish line is, timing-wise, is right here where these cones are, but this is turn 2 and turn 1 is behind me, and usually they flag you at the flag station over here. Like, it's a little strange, but for all intents and purposes for a DE, this is the timing line. I don't really think it matters if you're not being timed, so we're still going to call this turn 2. But it's also kind of the first corner. It doesn't matter. Let's just start. So flying into turn 2, we're gonna brake before the cones, down to third gear, and you kind of come off the brake so you can roll into the center, and then it's a really tight left, still in third gear. Back on the gas a little bit. We're gonna miss these curves, back to the right, feathering it. Now punch brake a little bit. This is called wagon wheel. You're adding power, and you're hunting for this cone right there. There you go. Blind up over the crest. You see that a lot on this track. Up to fourth for ricochet. This is flat out, do not lift. Easy. Use a little bit of curve on the exit. Coming up to little bends. You're going to brake and get the downshift done early. Yep. And then you're going to arc it in, back on the gas early, and the camber sucks you into that apex and keeps you there, which is really nice. Still in third gear for buzzard neck, right-hander. You're not going to go all the way out. You're going to stay in the middle for the left-hander that's called horseshoe. This one's up and blind. So you're looking, you can't see, and you just kind of find the edge of the track. So now for boot hill, we're going to put our carb out in the middle, grab our upshift early for tombstone. This is all flat out. You just got to commit. If you lift, you'll spin. Now we're on to that front straightaway. I hesitate to call. This is turn 1, technically. Big bend, brake a little bit, right back on the gas. In this particular lap, I apexed a little early and it pushed me wide, but it's still fast. And that's a lap. It comes at you quick. So we're going to step through this, and I'll try to slow it down a little bit because it comes at you fast. So here, there used to be a giant bump right when you would start braking for this corner. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you if I know what's still there or not. They did repave the track, but you still got to be pretty careful. So as you come up to this, we're in fourth gear, and so you're going to brake. It glitched, but you're going to brake right before that first little cone. The cones might have got moved, so you just got to brake, wherever you think is natural. And you're going to get the downshift in early, and then you're going to come off the brake a little bit and get on the gas a little bit to help plant the rear end for that uphill decreasing radius right turn. It's tough, and if you do it wrong, you'll end up over here, and it's very bumpy, and it'll rip the steering wheel out of your hands. So take it easy into this corner, get it slowed down, and then you can figure out if you need to add or subtract speed once you get to this spot right here. If you never make it to here, then you'll never make it to here, right? But you can make it to here going a little slower than you think you should and make up for it right here. So I'm going to get back on the gas a little bit, and then you're going to tap the brake, and this is a very, very tight left-hander. I mean, you can see my steering wheel is almost upside down. It's going to be upside down the other way to turn the other way. Yep, see, so we're not going to hit this curb because it'll fling the car away, but it's tight. You got to really be slow. Second gear isn't the good gear to be in here, but third feels too low, so it's kind of a wash. Yep, and then same story but to the right. So see how my hands are up on the steering wheel a little bit? That's because this is on a Sunday and my arms are tired. So you're going to have the same thing. You're going to be fatigued in the same way. So put your hands up here and really move them around. Really get them to swing, because this is all low speed autocross right here. Like, you need to get the most torque on the wheel as you can. So we're adding throttle for this because it's a little wider than the last one. But you still don't want to go all the way out to the other side because the next corner is a left-hander back the other way. Yep, so right here you're going to kind of take it a little bit wider. That way you can get the arc on this corner. This is the pit exit, so just be careful. Yahoos like to come out of here at 1,000,000 miles an hour and steal your line. Okay, so we made this apex, and now you don't want to track all the way out. You don't want the car to wash out here. This is off camber, so it's really difficult to get the car to turn. But you can see my head. You can't see through the camera, but the real apex we want is way over here, and so the car's going to come out and then come right back to it, and that is perfect. So you're flat the whole time right there. Grab fourth gear, and then this right here, you're grabbing fourth, and then you got to pick one of these cones to turn in at, and you can turn in from this rumble strip, but this needs to be flat out, especially since you're going to be there in February and it's not going to be very hot. This needs to be flat out. I know in this lap I get a little slidey there. That's fine. Car's yelled out, it rotates for you, man. It drives itself. This has to be flat out. You'll really enjoy the feeling of the car and the confidence you have when you can get this flat out. If you can't get this flat out and you lift, you will spin out. You get the weight transfer over the front wheels, and it'll never make it. So hold it flat. The good thing too is that if you do kind of go a little bit wide, this is all fairly tame. Throw some dust up, get back on the track, lose some paint. It's not that big of a deal. All right, so Little Bend. I love Little Bend. This might be one of my favorite corners ever. So you're gonna brake, and you're just gonna point it straight at this freaking house right here, right? Like you're not gonna turn in yet. Yep. And so you're almost like off the track, and then you're gonna aim for way back here. You're not aiming for this apex at all. You're aiming for way in the back of it, because it does tighten as you go through it. So you're turning, and then watch my foot. I'm right back on the gas, and I'm not even close to the apex. But see how it washes up and gets a little bit of banking right here? That's what's going to make our car turn in. So the rear needs to be planted for that, and then the front will just fall in this little dip and turn. Yeah, a little bit of understeer. Beautiful. Use all the curb. That's an awesome corner. This one, just get it done. Brake, no downshift, turn right. Stay in the middle of the track. Okay, and then this horseshoe right here, which I thought was the name of the other one, but anyways, it's blind. So you're gonna brake, and you're gonna kind of treat this like turn 3 at NOLA, but it's blind on the exit. I think it's almost the same radius as turn 3 at NOLA, to be honest with you. So back on the throttle here, and you can't see where the road ends, right? I mean, you can kind of like infer, but you can't see where the road ends. So you just have to know when to get on the gas and know how far to let the car track go. This next corner is Boot Hill. I've never heard it be called that. I've always kind of heard this entire thing to be like Horsehead, but I don't see any evidence of that ever being real. So you kind of want to miss this apex by an amount. I mean, it could be like a car's width or like 3/4 of a car's width. You don't want to hit that because it makes the next corner really tight. This is all flat, so your foot's on the gas from here until Big Bend. You just have to commit and keep the rear of the car planted. You will upshift to 4th somewhere in here, and here, I'll play it through. So this lap, I'm not really even where the shift light's coming on. I'm not wound up to like 60, 6100, but I'm gonna do my upshift here because you don't want to do it while the car's loaded up in the middle of this. This is called Tombstone, in the middle of this corner. You're still flat out the whole time, but you have to do your upshift a little earlier than you normally would because you don't want to be upshifting in this sweeper. It'll, again, it'll mess the bounce of the car up and piss it all off. So this one is another one too where you have to be flat out and you have to commit so that the car stays planted and doesn't spin out. If you don't, it'll slide around. There's nothing to hit, but I mean, you could go off for miles in this dirt before you get the car back underneath you, and it's bumpy and rocky and nasty, so stay flat. If you go all 4 wheels off, by the way, you're definitely clipping that apex. If you go all 4 wheels off here in a straight line, you wouldn't be the first one and you won't be the last. It's not that bad. But if you go spinning around out here, it's not going to be pretty. You're going to hit this dude's house. It ain't even finished being built yet. So, flat out, upshift a little bit early so you don't get the weight transfer in the wrong spot of the racetrack, and then go all the way out to this curb. This is where technically they'll give you like the green flag for race starts and stuff, but we don't need to worry about that. So flying down into Big Bend. Big Bend is really cool, and unfortunately this was one of the only clean laps I got from this weekend, and I messed this corner up. So I apexed way too early. You don't want to do that. So the way to do Big Bend is you tap the brake just like that, right? And then it's kind of off camber in the beginning, and then you gain a bunch of camber towards the end. Like, see how much of the track you can see from where we are, right? And it's also downhill, so the car gets light. Yeah, so you should be apexing here, and I'm apexing here. Again, it's not that big of a deal, to be honest with you. It sucks because the straightaway afterwards is fairly long, but this is really just a tap, turn, and go corner. I mean, I'll step back through it a little bit. You really just tap it, turn in, and go. There's no secret or strategy. So you're gonna tap the brake, and then right back on the gas. I messed it up. You don't have to. And then here, use all this curb. The curb ends quicker than it should. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Wow, that sucks. Yeah, sorry. The curb ends quicker than it should, so don't stay on it. And then we're right back to square one, man. This is a quick lap. This whole video is 1 minute and 27 seconds. You're gonna love this. You get a lot of chances to do corners over and over and over and over and over again, and it's really, really good for car control and practice. You cannot ignore this track's elevation changes, though. There is obviously the shining example is Horseshoe Corner right here, where you can't see until the apex, right? I mean, that's kind of like the launch, I guess, but the launch is more of a afterthought than than this corner, because this corner is you're turning into the blindness. It's also kind of blind here. I mean, it's not too blind. It's also not, doesn't really matter, because again, you don't want to be at the end of the track here. You want to be in the middle. Yeah, so that is what it is. And then wagon wheel is definitely blind. Which is this corner. So I mean, again, when you've done it as many times as I have, you know where the track is. It's kind of like when you park your car 1,000,000 times and you know how big it is. This is the same thing. It's just with the racetrack. But I am going to play a lap and shut up, and that should be it, man. And that's a lap. Good luck, man. This track is really fun. It'll be a blast.